You left one email unanswered 3 days ago. It's still sitting there unread by no one but you, and somehow it keeps crawling back into your mind at the strangest moments. In the shower, right before you fall asleep, in the middle of a completely unrelated conversation. You've probably assumed this is just anxiety or forgetfulness nagging at you. But the real answer is far stranger, and it starts, of all places, in a busy Vienna cafe almost 100 years ago. Picture the scene: waiters rushing between crowded tables, balancing trays, shouting orders, somehow remembering exactly which customer ordered what down to the smallest detail. No notepads, no tickets, just memory. A psychologist named Bluma Zeigarnik noticed something strange while watching this chaos unfold. The waiters could recall incredibly complex, unpaid orders with startling accuracy. But the moment a table paid their bill and left, that same waiter would completely forget what they'd ordered almost instantly. Why would finishing something erase your memory of it? Zeigarnik decided to test this formally. In a now famous set of experiments during the 1920s, she asked participants to complete a series of simple tasks, puzzles, drawings, basic assignments. But she interrupted some tasks before they were finished while letting others run to full completion. Afterward, she asked participants to recall what they'd been working on. The results were consistent and striking. People remembered the interrupted, unfinished tasks far more vividly than the ones they'd actually completed. This became known as the Zeigarnik Effect, and it reveals something uncomfortable about how your brain treats unfinished business. An open task doesn't get quietly filed away, it stays active, almost like a background program still running, quietly consuming a small slice of your mental energy until it's finally closed. Think about your own to-do list for a second, not the tasks you already crossed off. Those disappear from your mind almost instantly, forgotten within minutes. It's the half-written report, the unanswered text, the closet you started organizing and abandoned halfway through that keep resurfacing uninvited again and again, regardless of how hard you try to ignore them. Here's where it gets more interesting. Later, researchers wanted to know exactly why this happens at a deeper level. Psychologist Roy Baumeister, known for his extensive work on self-regulation and goal pursuit, found that unfinished goals create a kind of persistent psychological tension. Your mind treats an incomplete task as an open loop, something your brain is biologically motivated to close, because leaving important goals unresolved would have been dangerous for your ancestors. An unfinished hunt, an unpatched shelter before a storm, a warning not fully delivered to the rest of the group. In the ancient world, dropped tasks could mean starvation, exposure, or death. Your brain evolved to keep nagging you until the loop closes, because for most of human history, that nagging kept you alive. Notice the twist hiding inside this. You've probably felt frustrated by your own brain's inability to let something go: that email, that argument you didn't finish, that half-read book staring at you from the nightstand. You assumed this was a personal flaw, a sign you're disorganized or overly anxious. It isn't. It's an ancient alarm system working exactly the way it was built to, just now aimed at modern tasks instead of survival threats. Here's something researchers have found genuinely useful, though. You don't actually need to finish a task to quiet the Zeigarnik effect. You just need to make a specific plan for finishing it. Studies building on Zeigarnik's original findings discovered that simply writing down a clear intention, when, where, and how you'll complete something dramatically reduces the intrusive thoughts around it, almost as effectively as finishing the task itself. Your brain doesn't necessarily need the job done. It needs to know the job has a plan. This explains something almost everyone has experienced without realizing why. That strange sense of relief after finally writing a to-do list before bed. Nothing on the list actually got done in that moment. But your mind quiets down anyway, because as far as your ancient tracking system is concerned, the open loop now has a destination. There's a reason this effect has quietly shaped entire industries you interact with constantly. Television writers end episodes on cliffhangers, deliberately leaving a storyline unresolved, because an open loop keeps your mind hooked far more effectively than a satisfying conclusion ever could. Video games use incomplete quest markers and half-finished progress bars for the exact same reason, keeping a small mental thread dangling just enough to pull you back. Even social media notifications exploit this instinct, a small red dot marking something unread, unopened, unfinished, quietly nagging at your attention until you tap it away. Think about how strange that is. An observation made almost a century ago from watching tired waiters in a Vienna cafe is now embedded in nearly every screen you look at today, engineered specifically to keep your ancient completion-seeking brain hooked on modern content. So the next time an unfinished task keeps resurfacing in your mind at the worst possible moments, notice what's actually happening. Your brain isn't malfunctioning. It isn't punishing you. It's running the exact same ancient program that once helped your ancestors survive by refusing to let dangerous, unresolved situations fade quietly into the background. The task doesn't have to be a saber-toothed tiger anymore for your mind to treat it with the same unfinished urgency. You left one email unanswered 3 days ago. Now you know it isn't really the email your brain is worried about at all. It's the open loop quietly running in the background, waiting for you to finally close it.